Report is about climate change and food security, predictions from the future. This is a nationwide study conducted in 26 counties. One of the key findings is that actually there is a worrying trend of food insecurity. In other words, given the conditions and the impact of climate change in Kenya today, there's a high possibility that in the near future, Kenya will experience food shortage. The other major finding from this study is that actually food security in itself will be affected by forces such as the market forces, because small-scale farmers depend on markets to sell their produce in order to buy basic foods that they need at home. So if the production is being affected and the farmers do not have control over the markets, and mostly they sell in the open air markets, that means that somehow there is an effect also stemming from the markets to the farmer, climate to the farmer, and therefore the situation of smallholders in Kenya is likely to be negatively impacted upon unless, of course, we take some actions now. These are some of the areas where we need policy, actionable policy, and that can protect both the rights of people to own property, to do farming, but also protect small-scale farming. There is a third finding, and this is to do with education. We realize that in universities, most of the students take careers in all other sectors but agriculture. There are very few students who are interested in becoming extension officers, in becoming specialized in the area of farming in one aspect or another, compared to, say, business, compared to education, compared to media, compared to law, and so forth. That means what? That means that while farming is a mainstay of a country, our own educational, intellectual production is not headed in that direction. And what then does that tell us? That somehow we want to live, but we are not sustaining the mechanisms of living. That the government needs to make agriculture not only an examinable elective subject, but a mandatory examinable subject, so that every student gets to know that we are a farming country, and these are the mechanisms of farming, these are the policies in place, this is where the country needs to go. We all need to take interest. The second recommendation is actually what we call cluster settlements, and then build storied houses. Now, that means that somehow, especially in counties that are already overpopulated or populated, and where land subdivision is continually ongoing, that we need a policy that will ensure there's food production, but also not if we settle people, cluster and settle people, and then build storied houses where like one clan can have one building rather than 10, 15 buildings. That means we're not only freeing land for farming, which is one benefit, but also that we're going to have a larger percentage of forest in this country that we need. People are concerned about subsidies, from the government, so that if there are better health crops, then they don't have to till large farms to be able to sustain themselves.